we have to come to a pivotal part in Hebrews chapter 12, on which everything else hinges. We're called to run this race with endurance, and in the next verse, verse 2 says, looking to Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is now seated at the right hand of the Father. And the book of Hebrews in chapter 1 begins by saying to us that God speaks to us through His Son, and that by His Son all things are upheld. His Son holds the universe by the word of His power. The Word became flesh, John 1:14 says, and dwelt among us, and we have seen His glory, glory as of the Father, full of grace and truth. In other words, Christ is everything. How do we work at our faith? How do we do this work, this disciplined effort of faith? It's all through Christ. If we are not looking to Jesus, if our gaze is not fixed firmly and resolutely upon Jesus Christ, the author, the founder, and perfecter of our faith, then our faith is futile. It is useless. We can do nothing apart from Christ. He Himself says to us in John chapter 15. And so if you're wanting to know how to do this work of faith, if you're wanting to know how to live this life of faith, to run this race, you need to be rooted and established in the rock that is Christ. Again, I say, apart from Him, you can do nothing. And that's the crux of the verse in Hebrews chapter 12. Yes, we look to the cloud of witnesses that came before us, these men and women of faith who expressed their faith in God through action. And then we are called to run this race, to lay aside every weight and the sin which clings so closely and run this race with endurance. But the ultimate thing is to do so, we have to look to Jesus, who was the first fruits of our faith, who without Him we would be lost. Without Him we would be unable to do any of this. And so the question becomes, is your faith in Christ? Is your gaze fixed upon Him? Is everything that you do, is every deed, every word, every minute, every action for Christ and through Christ? Because if it's not, you're not running this race. Running this race with endurance means doing it through and for Christ and Christ alone.